Blade of the Immortal is a manga that deserves more respect. After completing all 200 plus chapters, it left me baffled that it wasn't more popular. On the surface, it has a pretty typical revenge plot, but where Immortal really shines is in its characters. We have our main character, Manji, who, in case the title hasn't given away yet, is an immortal man who seeks to redeem himself by cutting down evildoers. He's the bodyguard of Rin, who hires Manji to take revenge on the dojo responsible for killing her family. Rin might get on a lot of viewers' nerves, but I promise she will grow on you. In general, the plot did take a while to grab me. Don't get me wrong, there's plenty of great moments at the beginning, but my interest really began to peak at the perfection of the anatomy arc. Many aspects of Manji end up taking the back burner to focus on Rin's development. We don't really get that much of an idea of how Manji's immortality really works until this arc. The way the downsides of immortality are shown in this arc are far deeper than many interpretations of it. Most of us are probably familiar with the downsides, like watching your loved ones die and being unable to move on with them, all the negative aspects of being unable to die. But Perfection of Anatomy shows the price that one has to pay to achieve immortality, and if the cost is worth more than having a finite life. The manga is also known for its lengthy fights, and almost all of them had me on the edge of my seat. That's thanks to the fact that it balances out those fights with long sections of meaningful interactions with the characters. Almost every character that's featured prominently gets a good amount of time in development. I was surprised at some of the people that ended up sticking around. I think this might be some of the most fully fleshed out cast in manga that I've ever read. Normally, you get a couple of characters and villains that get a minimal amount of progress, but not here. Of course, all this ends up resulting in pretty egregious pacing issues. If you can look past that, it's pretty much solid. I mentioned not being able to get into it at first, and that's partly due to it being focused on revenge. Not only is it incredibly common amongst samurai stories, but it's a theme I'm pretty tired of seeing. Most revenge stories are incredibly predictable because they either go one way or the other. They end up with the main character taking their revenge and riding off into the sunset, or the other way is a more philosophical way of viewing revenge, where the story closely inspects the perspective of the wrongdoer, showing how our perspectives are warped by many elements of life. Hello folks, if you're enjoying this video, it would be a great help if you considered becoming a channel member. Tier 1 only starts at 99 cents, and you'll be able to get a couple perks like getting early access to my regular videos. Thank you. I feel like it's super played out at this point in time, but revenge isn't really the sole focus in Immortal, so I was able to keep going. Another theme is how the Ito Ryu are challenging the samurai's way of tradition. They are founded on the disillusion brought by their own systems and are willing to take on dojos in order to change their way of life. Eventually, their dreams clash with reality and are forced to realize the impossibility of their task. As far as villains go, Anotsu is pretty well rounded and interesting. Most of the antagonists are also the same way, except for one man. Shira is many things, and is one of the most infamous characters in the entire manga. He is evil incarnate. Everything negative that you could have as a person, you can count on this guy having. Sure, he's not the most deep character, but have you considered that he eventually gets white hair? And he also creates a weapon out of his own bones. He has such an unorthodox design. Samura's character designs and artwork in general are a feast for the eyes. His art style is very unique and sports this sketchy quality to them. I think my favorite work for him is the colored artwork, and a lot of his poses feel very fresh. And that's pretty hard to do because there's only so many ways to do sword poses, I think. Blade of the Immortal should be far more successful than it currently is. Despite its length, it's got the makings of a great manga and will leave you with a deeply bittersweet feeling. Everything feels consequential in this manga, with characters constantly having to face actions and people from their past. And that's one of the most important parts of a good story. I didn't expect for it to have this kind of impact on me when I started, but I'm glad I gave it a shot.